got one coming to you, Mr. Alcorn.
All right.
I bet you not by much.
Just for the record, because that might not have been on the record earlier, this is a special budget committee meeting, Wednesday, August 26th. It is 8:30 a.m.
All right, I just got it.
It's gonna cost you.
All right, so we'll call the meeting to order, and adoption of the agenda. Are there any public comments?
None.
All right, if there's no public comments, then is there a motion to approve minutes?
I so move.
Second, Chair Alcorn.
All right, so after approving the minutes, then
We have to have a vote, sir.
oh, I'm sorry. I'm still getting used to this whole thing.
That's okay, I understand.
It's pretty awkward. All right, so do we have a vote?
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carried unanimously.
All right, our next agenda item is the sheriff's salary, supplemental budget.
Okay, I'm gonna handle that one. So, so what we have had, in the packet, you'll notice that you had 2 agenda routing slips and a resolution. The first agenda routing slip is the one that applies to the budget committee. So what we have the statutes require that the sheriff's salary has to be higher than, it has to be a fixed amount higher, not less than any member of the sheriff's department. So when we did the budget, the sheriff's salary was higher than his highest paid individual. Since that time, the individual got his cost of living raise, and then on August 1st, he actually got a step increase, which resulted in him being higher than the sheriff. So what we're asking the budget committee to do is to change the sheriff's increase from 5% to at least 6%. If the sheriff received a 6% increase, he would actually be $218 higher than his highest paid employee. So we wouldn't want you to do any less than 6%.
Okay.
Pardon me, Julie?
All right, is there any further discussion on the percentage?
Well, just, go ahead, Brad.
Is that $218 a month or just overall?
Overall for annually.
Okay.
Clarification.
And just for the public's notice, you know, this is mandated by law. This isn't arbitrarily the sheriff coming in and asking for a raise. This is mandated through the ORSs.
Chair Alcorn.
Yes, sir.
Court Boyce here. Good morning. I just heard Mr. Thode ask, it's only $218 a year, or that's per month, isn't it?
No, it's a year, annually. 6% puts him $218 over the highest paid employee for the year.
I understand that. But it's only a raise of how much per year? I'm not catching that.
About $20.
It goes from 95 to 691. This is not a big deal. It is, if it's 1%, that ain't a lot. Okay, thank you, Chair Alcorn. That's all. Here comes, yes, good morning.
Julie Swift, Payroll and HR. I just want to know, real quick, we need to make sure that when the employees get a cost of living each year, also that the sheriff receives at least that same cost of living, so we don't end up with this situation where we're upside down again. Also, I was asking Ms. Schmelzer to clarify the effective date of this change, because the step increase took place August 1st. So is this increase for the sheriff going to be back to July 1st or just take effect August 1st?
Okay, and that would be the second part of our conversation, because it depends what percentage they go with. If they go with 6%, then we would want to make that effective August 1st. If it's more than 6%, we could backdate that to the July 1st if that's what they wanted. But they have to, first of all, they have to decide on the percentage. So, well, if it's 6%, he became the situation became non-compliant on August 1st when the other employee got his increase. So we would want to backdate it at least to August 1st if they're going with 6%. Because he was compliant up until August 1st. So if you do more than August 1st, then we can backdate it to July 1st if you want, August 1st if you want, but we need to decide the percentage first.
All right, did the sheriff get a cost of living raise this year?
No, what they do is they just get the regular percentage that the board approved, which was 5%.
All right, further discussion on a percentage. Any more comments on the percentage? Whether it should be more or 1%?
I think what we have before us is fine.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that last one.
Sorry, I think what we have before us is fine. I'm starting to catch the figures here and see where we are. And then with the recommendation that Director Smelser made, that from now on he's automatic in the cost of living raises, if those come to pass, I think we have our bases pretty well covered. And as as HR Swift said, we won't be in this situation again. So I'm fine. I don't think we need to go retroactive back to July though, if I understood that correctly.
Chair Alcorn?
Yes.
Just some comments on that. So, if you remember, it's the compensation committee makes a recommendation on the sheriff's salary, which goes to the budget committee. So, I don't think it's fair to really look at it as a cost of living raise. It's his actual compensation that we're talking about. And I think we need to look at it and say, is it fair that he is only making less than $20 a month more than his highest paid employee? So I put 6% in here because that's the minimum, but I do think the budget committee should consider 6.5%, 7%, something. So there is, I think, a greater distance between the two. $20 a month is not a lot. Big difference when you're considering the responsibility with this position.
No, it's sure not. So, Commissioner Gold?
I make a motion that we approve a raise for the sheriff of 7%.
I'll second that, Chair Alcorn.
Okay. So we have a motion to increase the sheriff's wage by 7%. Can we get a vote on that?
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. Motion carried unanimously.
So Chair, so then the second thing we want to talk about is when does that become effective? August 1st, you could do July 1st, August 1st. I don't suggest September 1st because we haven't run the calculations to see what the difference would be if it was September 1st. So I recommend that the board discuss it either being effective July 1st or August 1st.
Okay. Any discussion on the date?
Sorry, Mr. Chair, County Council. I think it should be tied to the effective date of the captain's raise so that we would be in compliance. So, otherwise there would be a time period where we were not in compliance with the statute.
Actually, by being 7%, if we just went with 6%, Council, we would be non-compliant for that month. But by going with 7%, we would be okay. So, but the captain was August 1st. If you wanted to go with that date.
Okay, so
August 1st?
Yes.
yeah, whatever date. I think just keeping it the same date as the captain.
Mr. Chair, I'm ready to make a motion. Do we adopt I move that we adopt the August 1st deadline so it matches the captain's salary. So we are retroactive back to August 1st, if I understand correctly.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Well,
All right,
Thank you, Council Huddle.
and a vote, please.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carried unanimously.
Chair Alcorn, one more thing, if I could, please.
Yes.
It's been brought up by Ms. Swift and Director Schmelzer about making this, you know, in perpetuity that, you know, whoever, and I believe that that the captain has topped out now, but if there is another raise, you know, that puts the sheriff out of line, we don't have to redo this in a budget committee hearing. It would automatically be put into the sheriff's salary.
Okay.
Do we need a motion on that, Council Huddle?
Well, it's, I'm just not sure. The law already, you know, says that that's what we have to do.
Okay.
And so I suppose if we were going to entertain that idea, we would set a, you know, a parameter. In other words, that, you know, that the sheriff will automatically be X percent more than the highest paid. Because currently the law just says the sheriff has to be paid more than, you know, it has to be the highest paid in the department. But, and today we figured out, well, it's going to be 7% more, but how, that's for the captain. So let's say, Commissioner Pash, that something does happen and another employee somehow becomes, you know, more highly paid than the sheriff currently. The law already says the sheriff has to be the highest paid, but how would we decide what the amount, you know, of the gap is, or so that we could implement, you know, a formula, as it were, I think, or something.
I would just say a matching percentage, whatever the sheriff, whatever a subordinate of the sheriff was given that makes him that much above the sheriff's salary would be matched that exact percentage.
So, Chair Alcorn, one of my concerns with that approach is, let's say you get a new captain who makes, I don't know, $70,000 a year. You know, then that's gonna really restrict the sheriff. It's, so we'd have to watch out for that. I think maybe what I would like to see is, next year when we do the budget, payroll just look at those numbers and project what the new captain is gonna be, so that when we consider the percentage for the sheriff, we can take that into consideration at that time.
And
I have a comment. Are we sure we wanna tie up next year's budget committee in some kind of perpetuity that you're talking about? Or should that be left up to the budget committee next year?
so if I could, and that is correct, and so technically a current board cannot bind a future board, so it couldn't be done in perpetuity, as it were, because another board can come along. It's just with any legislation. I actually think administratively this is what we're looking at here is the exception and not the rule, and that I think Director Schmelzer's solution, that we just look at it at the budget to make sure we cover that contingency, would probably be just a good way to do it. I don't imagine we're going to face this scenario anytime between now and then. I don't know if Director Schmelzer or the sheriff or the personnel officer has anything to say about that, but I would be surprised if we had to, you know, address this issue between now and the next time we meet for the budget. So I think doing it at the budget makes the most sense.
Agreed. Here.
I would agree with council's assessment.
Okay,
Anyone else?
we're good.
Okay. All right, I think the next item on the agenda is our next meeting.
So we had agreed, Chair Alcorn, we had agreed that we would meet 3 months out. So that would be September 9th, would be our next meeting, if you want to keep with that schedule. We don't have the audit results back yet to discuss with you. we haven't closed out the year yet, so we don't have that to discuss with you, but we did agree that we would meet in 3 months, so that is September 9th. So maybe, I'm not sure what we'd want to review at that time, but if you want to keep on that schedule, that's what we're looking at. Or we can push it out perhaps a month until hopefully we have the audit done by then.
Okay. We don't have anything, then it's probably best to push it out, I would think.
I agree.
Is there a date, a month later, so is there a good date in October?
So the board meets, this board meets October 7th and the 21st. So I don't know if you want to continue to try and meet the same day as the regular board. For us, it works well because then we don't have to pay the gentleman that films the meetings, we don't have to pay him to come back for a special meeting. So for us, it works good to have it, would be the 7th or the 21st. It's a long day, but budget committee meetings usually aren't too long though anyway.
Yeah. Okay, let's do it October 21st, if that works for everyone.
Yes.
Fine here.
Okay.
All right, then, let's schedule that for October 21st. Is there any other business?
Chair Alcorn, JJ here. You can't see me.
Sorry, my audio's dead.
Yeah, you can't see them.
Adopt the number 4, approve minutes.
But we already did that.
Yeah.
I'm starting to lose the audio, so if you repeat that, please, I'm sorry.
On the agenda, item number 4, approve the minutes from June 15th.
I think we did that, JJ.
Okay, is there a I thought we already did that. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
I believe it was Commissioner Gold.
Yeah, we already did that.
Okay.
We did? Thought approved the
If there-
agenda.
If there's no other business, then we'll adjourn the meeting.
All right,
Thank you.
thanks, guys.
All right.